Local people. Local news and events. Local sports. Local matters. For all things Lloydminster area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
Hey, welcome to the show. We're on the road today. We're here at the airport for the grand opening of Bradley Airspray, an aerial application company that has just launched this spring by Garth and Courtney George and Chesney Wright. So we invite you to stop out, check it out for yourself today. But we're going to learn a little bit more about crop dusting in just a bit here when we bring Garth on the show. And a reminder that back at the new Lloydminster Nissan right now, you can get 0% financing on the ever-popular Nissan Rogue and Kicks models. And you'll be doing some flying of your own in those gorgeous vehicles. That's on approved credit, of course. And in our service department right now at the new Lloydminster Nissan, save 25% on AC work just in time for the hot summer months ahead. And 10% on oil changes. That's all June at the new Lloydminster Nissan. And remember, we service all makes and all models at the new Lloydminster Nissan. A reminder that when you stop out here today and visit with Bradley Airspray, there's also a raffle. You could win 160 acres of spraying, and they definitely want to see you out here. And the signs are set up so it makes it really, really simple to find Bradley Airspray. Just follow the signs. When you get to the entrance of the airport, they start there, and you'll follow them right over to the hangar here. Superior Water specializes in nothing but water, and with over 22 years in the business, they're proud and confident that their water and service is superior. For iron filters, water softeners, reverse osmosis distillers, chlorine removal, and H2S odor removal, give Superior Water a call at 780-875-6636, or stop and see them at their 57th Avenue location. They're right beside Sheepskin Loft. And stay hydrated with pure, clean water. I drink Superior Water because I like the taste. And after all, it is Superior Water. Well, with the closure of both television stations here in Lloydminster, Live with Kurt Price, along with Vidir Images and Forges Media, will be taking up the tradition of broadcasting the 2025 parade this year. Happens on July 9th, and we're very excited to continue the tradition. We can't do that without some presenting sponsors and without some great help. That help comes from the Lloydminster District Co-op, as well as from the Gold Horse Casino and the City of Lloydminster. You can catch the Lloydminster District Co-op Parade broadcast, available on Facebook and YouTube, July 9th at 10 a.m., and if you find the poster on the Live with Kurt Price page, which you're watching right now, then you can just follow the QR code right to the YouTube page. And, of course, you already know where to find us on Facebook. We're getting closer and closer to the Lloydminster Fair. The fair runs July 9th through 12th with some new events, some entertainment, and, of course, some new rides. And General Manager of the Lloydminster Exhibition, Jackie Tomeyer, told us that they'll be bringing back some of the older, more traditional events this year.
That's another big change. So we've tried to move our trade show around a little bit, and we're kind of going back to our roots. So we're going to put the trade show in the Culligan building, and so it's going to kind of be back to your regular, what you used to see at the fair trade show. And we have corn maze is going to be in there for the kids, and we'll put some seating in there. And we're just hoping that we get lots of vendors and people can come and see some cool stuff at the trade show.
So if you'd like to become a vendor, you can contact the Lloydminster Exhibition. And speaking of the Lloydminster Exhibition, they'll have another Chase the Ace draw tonight, 7:30. The jackpot is over $37,000. 44 cards remain in the deck, and tickets are $10 each, 3 for $25, 8 for $50, or 20 for $100. Go to lloydx.com, and you can get all the details there, including how to purchase with your credit card and how to set up an e-transfer. You can also, of course, purchase tickets in person until 5 o'clock Monday to Friday. The Filipino Festival will take place this Saturday at Bud Miller Park. Once again, the day is filled with great entertainment, all kinds of food, activities. It kicks off with a foot parade at 9 a.m. And Dawson Antonio is one of the organizers of the Pinoy Festival. He says they are happy to be adding new events to this year's celebration. That includes some new but older and still familiar Filipino games.
The Palarong Pinoy. So the tug of war, the sack race, and we have added three games that we are playing when we are still young in the Philippines. We have the Loksong Tinik, we have the Patintero, we also have the Sandok Pera. It's our game wherein you put $5 bills and then and scoop it.
Yeah.
So we've been doing fundraising for that. Our basketball, darts, and billiard group are doing fundraising. So far we have raised $400 of $5 bills, $5 bills for everyone.
The Lloydminster Motor Club is hosting a car wash fundraiser this Saturday from 11 to 5 at Three Guys Truck Wash in support of the Border Paws Animal Shelter. They'll also have refreshments, snacks, giveaways, and raffle prizes available. Cupcakes for Caregivers is a great way to thank those people in our lives who make a difference every day. And our latest recipient of a dozen signature cupcakes was Mr. Les Korn, a teacher at Queen Elizabeth School. He was recognized for helping one family in particular, overcome some learning hurdles. So we want to say thank you to Mr. Korn. And if you have someone in your life you'd like to thank for their special and extra attention and care that they give you or someone in your family, whether it's a doctor, nurse, or teacher, you all just have to email livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. Just tell us a little bit about that person. Cupcakes for Caregivers is proudly presented by Sobeys Lloydminster and the Lloydminster and District United Way. Well, BioClean Disaster Services is committed, certified, reliable, and will help you get your life back. Your family can face some tough times ahead when you face any disaster. So what really BioClean Disaster Services does differently is take care of your family. Yes, your property and your home, your business, that's important, but what really matters is your family, and BioClean Disaster Services will do that. And they're not only Lloydminster's local restoration company, they're also Lloydminster's largest restoration company. You can get a hold of them at 1-833-246-8326 in Lloydminster and area, because we know they service the entire area from Wainwright right up to Cold Lake. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Garth George will join us. Chesty Wright will join us. We're going to find out more about Bradley Airspray.
At CK McKean Roofing, they understand what it took to put that roof over your head for your family. With over 20 years of experience under their belt, they strive to show you that with their workmanship and their integrity. Not all roofing companies are created equal. And that's why CK McKean Roofing encourages you to focus on your most important investments, your home and your family. CK McKean Roofing. Roofers do it on top.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with a Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back, you help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
Spend less time chasing wind speeds and more time doing what matters. Take care of your mid-season applications with speed, precision, and zero crop damage. No ruts, no delays, just fast, effective coverage that protects your yield and preserves your time. We're at the grand opening today of Bradley Airspray here at the Lloydminster Airport, where you could win 160 acres of spraying. Just follow the clear, direct signs when you get to the airport. And, of course, you can always call or text 780-205-7767. That's 780-205-PROP. Bradley Airspray, because your time is worth more. How'd I do, Garth?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Your radio, your broadcasting is coming along nicely, so that's good.
Someday I'll get there.
Yeah, you'll make it.
Thanks for having us out.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
you're welcome.
So Garth George is one of the owners of Bradley Airspray,
Yeah.
along with his wife Courtney George
Yeah.
and Chesney Wright as well. So we're glad to have Chesney with us as well today. And I have to ask this first off because it has shocked me. There's been a lot of planes taken off.
Like
I've been shocked at how
the
busy.
Lloyd Airport's busy, man.
Well, I haven't been out here in I don't know how long. So
Well, there's one right now.
Yeah, there's one starting up right now. So, is this constant every day?
So
It's
the
like
flight
this?
school over here is giving her. They
Really?
got students now, and they're giving her between the medevacs and such, and then the American Hunters come up spring and fall, and then there's no SCAD service, which would be nice to get back, but then I think Husky, or no, Synovus, I guess it's now. Sorry, they bring charters out of Calgary all the time. So, and then with us, we're going to be busy, I'm hoping, and hopefully we keep it humming around here. If you see the little yellow birds flying around, you know what's shaking. So, but yeah.
Well, we can see it right behind us right now. How many of these do you have? You have one?
Two of them. So
Two.
the second one shows up here. The boys and I will go down and get it probably on Monday or Tuesday, I think. And
Okay.
we have two 502 XBs.
So the first thing that comes to my mind when I look at this plane is how small it is. I thought, I thought I'd be able
I
to
actually thought
really.
this was kind of bigger than I thought. but-
Well, I thought I'd really be able to see it looks like a regular plane. Like you can't other than there's hoses obviously and stuff
Yeah.
hooked up to and stuff. You can't really. I'm like, how much spray can you possibly carry in this little plane?
well, there's 500 gallons there between the cockpit and the engine at the front there.
So how much will 500 gallons do?
Depending on what we're doing per acre for application. So typically we do 3 gallons, so that's 160 acres on a fill. But certain products we will go heavier on if we need to. But typically, around the 3 gallon mark is what we will spray.
So what are we talking about? Herbicide or pesticide or both?
Whatever we need. So the herbicide we typically use in the fall for getting the crops ready for harvest. And then the pesticides is obviously if we get a nasty bug run or something, which I hope we don't get. Well, from a farmer's side, it's really awkward for me. Ches will just cheer for the bug run here. And
Oh, come on. Fungicide is coming up.
yeah. So fungicide is the other one, like Ches said. So
Okay.
yeah, so we're right on the cusp. Like I said, we got a queue started for people. So if they want to get us booked up, we're kind of the first come, first serve kind of thing. So we want to get you lined up. But then for planning for the girls here, for Ches and Court, if we got, say, 2 guys in Neilburg and a guy in Maidstone or something, we want to hit the guy in Maidstone on the way to Neilburg kind of thing so that we can make it
You'd have enough to do
more.
two?
Oh, it depends on what we're doing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's a half load or something like that, so yeah, so.
How much fuel do you have to use?
Well, it depends, again, how far we're flying or whatever, right? We typically don't fill it right up. If you filled it right up, you'd have about 4 hours. But typically, we only have about 2 hours of fuel because we're only going to be about 45 minutes, depending on how far we're going. So like we were talking earlier, the airports we want to come out of are like Maidstone, Lloydminster, Vermilion, Wainwright. And they're within 25 nautical miles. It's kind of the optimistic, the perfect amount of distance that you would need to make it feasible, right?
Okay.
So we have a fellow that's over in Wainwright or something like that has a lot of acres. We have one trailer is mobile, so one plane would run out of the Wainwright Airport for the day, and the pilot and a mixer would go down, right? So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so what is your service area then? How far?
Well, it would probably be that. Like I would say
Wainwright down
from
to Maidstone?
Yeah, to Maidstone. We'd go up to Elk Point country. Typically, the biggest thing that I want to emphasize is that, like Brad always said, is that we want to stay local to our customers here, right? That's kind of how Brad got into this. There was these people would get a crop duster in, and they'd come here for maybe 4 or 5 days, and guys would get all, okay, yeah, let's do it, and then they'd bugger off, and there'd be guys left with spray in hand, going like, well, heck, So I want to stay here, stay local. I don't want to bugger off and go somewhere else, right? So
let's talk about the name. Let's talk about Bradley Airspray.
Yep.
And the meaning behind it.
Well, that was the man that started it. Go ahead, Miss.
Well, so Garth and Courtney contacted me, and they're like, hey, how do you feel about naming it after Brad? And I was like, you know what? That's a huge honor. Brad would have wanted this as well. We all talked about coming together to build an OC together, an operator certificate, and after he passed, it just felt like the right thing to do.
So you guys had talked about because I know on your Facebook page you had the two planes side by side.
Well, that was Brad that did that. Brad stopped the kids' cartoons one day and took a snapshot of the what is that? What cartoon's that?
Oh, that's the Disney movie Planes. So
yeah,
we were at home watching it with my kids, and I was like, "Oh, Brad, look!" I was like, "That's our two airplanes." So he rewinds it and pauses it and takes this picture and sends it off to Garth.
He's like, "Look, it's us," because I flew the biplane, the old Egg Cat, and he had a Strush, and it's exactly what those two airplanes are, right? So,
yeah.
So, yeah, that's quite a picture. That sticks with me forever. That dang show now, right? So,
so that was the plan to go.
That was the plan. We wanted to. We were flying farmers before, right? Which is different regulations and rules, and you're very limited as a flying farmer. It's literally what we were, and we wanted to get to the professional side of it and be able to cover a larger area type thing. And so, yeah, last winter I started on the OC because from where I was from, Brad was more of the maintenance side. He knew that stuff. I knew more of the other side, being from the commercial airline side. So we started this operating certificate, and we actually just got it yesterday. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So we're fully operational.
So how have the bookings been? How are things?
There's lots of talk. There's lots of people. Hey, you?
Yeah. Phone calls are starting to roll in. We kind of tried to cover some insecticide just to get a feel out there for people. And now, those fungicide calls are starting to roll in.
Yep.
So what are the benefits? Like I keep saying, no ruts. That stuff makes sense to me. Well, it makes sense to me. You're not driving over your own product.
And Ches knows the math better than I do, but you're roughly like 2-3 bushel an acre. With a sprayer, with a 120-foot sprayer. That's what you'd run over with your tire tracks, right? So take that, times it by current grain prices, and our price is basically a bushel of canola.
Yeah, you can lose up about 25% of your crop with tire tracks. So by putting a plane over it, you gain that all back. And not including then maybe if you have a farmhand going out and doing it, you got to pay them hourly or
and we're faster, cover ground. There's tests, and I'm going to be running more tests. Brad and I started it last year up on our field. But the speed and velocity versus water volume. So like a ground sprayer will use lots of water to try to get it to come down on the plant, whereas we are coming in at 130 miles an hour. So we're literally laser beaming water droplets into the canopy, right? So I think it does a better coverage. We did test strips with the ground sprayer versus him the same day. And there's definitely a difference for dry down. It's faster.
Oh, really?
And
why is that so important?
Well, because harvest is so tight. I mean, you've seen around here, like we'll be combining in the snowbanks, right? We've done that, right? So for desiccation, I think that's huge, right? So, but yeah, so. So
let me ask you, because there's certain things that you probably take for granted that I, looking from the outside, go, how do you do that? Okay, somebody hires you around Wainwright. You're not in Wainwright all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they go out and mark? This is honestly, they go out and mark their
we
crop.
Send you out there with a flag, and you just stand there and wave until I fly over.
No, I'm serious.
No, Ches can tell you
all
that.
GPS?
No, Ches will tell you the start, and then I'll tell you from the flight side. But the girls in the office do stuff too. So.
Yeah, so we'll get the phone call, and they'll be like, hey, we need whatever done on their crop, right? So, okay, fine. Send me your GPS coordinates, all right? Your
land location.
Yeah, your land locations. And
okay, and I'm sitting here going, that doesn't work. When I go to meal in the field every time, GPS takes me out somewhere opposite.
Yeah, but you're not good with this stuff.
GPS is GPS, isn't it?
You'd like to think.
Yeah.
So the GPS systems that we use actually gives you an aerial view of each quarter.
Okay.
So that way, when we stick it into these computers and these GPSs, this way we map it out what actually needs spraying. So we draw on the outlines and, hey, this needs spraying, this doesn't need spraying. And then once we get the information in from that farmer, it gets sent right away to our pilots. And then this way they know where to go. They just have to load it up and it takes them straight to that field.
And we have a satellite overview. So when Ches and Court push us a file to the planes here, everything's all, the cloud-based, right? So as soon as the plane taxis up, the girls can push to our iPads. and we got our next job right there. And then when we fly over the field, we can actually see an overview of the field. We look out the window and say, yeah, okay, there's a barnyard there. There's a power line. That's important. You know, it lays all the dangers out for the boys and myself. And so then when we go into the field, then we're ready to go. Once we're done, it maps it. The boys hit send. The girls, boom, get right back to the office. You get a text as a farmer, says your field was completed. And it logs all the wind, the temperatures, everything we need for logging for the pesticide program. So
Does it have to be same as usual? I can't spray today. It's too windy.
Oh, we go through all that stuff.
Go through
Yeah,
all
we're
that.
like
Same thing as a plane would be the same thing as a sprayer.
Yeah, so we for drift, right? That's the biggest thing is just maintaining drift and whatnot. So we tend to be as soon as the sun comes up, you'll hear us take off, and then usually around lunchtime we all have naps, and then our afternoon naps, and then usually just before dark kind of thing, sun up and stuff is sundown. Pardon me, is when we go again, right? So
right on cue, the wind comes.
Yeah, yeah. What was that?
The wind comes sailing.
Start the plane, boys.
So do you find? Will you find that you do if you're going to do a farmer's field? They'll say, well, you might as well just do it all. How does that work?
No, it's kind of more like some of the fields they have trouble getting into with their sprayers. Is lots of that. So like now with fungicide, typically we like if it would rain for most of June, right? And then July would be like, hey, my crop's too wet. I can't get in there. Can you guys come spray for us, right? There's that. And then again, your terrains also. And then the type of crop too. Fungicide spraying on peas is actually awesome. It makes for way better combining, as an example. The ones with the heavier stalks, sometimes they don't really want it done. But yeah, and then sometimes it's a timing issue. Sometimes they're like, I can't get to that on time. Can you guys come help me out?
Right. Okay. There's things that I never thought of that that make a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
So when I ask you how busy you are, a lot of farmers are waiting.
We are waiting. Even me as the farmer side, I'm like for our canola, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you because we haven't got rain. It's not mature enough either. We're not in the stage. We're still probably 2 weeks away from that, right? So guys are just finishing their in-crop herbicide, which they tend to do with the wheel sprayers because the crop's just young, right? So it's not going to cause any damage.
So you yourself, do you spray everything with this?
I do. Yep. So
everything's done.
No. Sorry, not
sell the sprayer. Don't even need it.
No. I still have a sprayer for burn off in the spring, and in crop. There's certain stuff like the certain herbicides we don't like to spray with a plane because everything's green. So if you have a little bit of drift, especially if a guy's fields are say like a foot apart, we don't want to hit his peas with a wheat herbicide or a canola herbicide, right?
Right.
So the herbicide stuff we tend to stay away from. Unless it comes to desiccation time where we're getting ready for harvest. Then we're kind of killing everything anyway, right? So getting ready for harvest, right? So
Chesney, how much of this do you have to tell the farmer? Like how much do they... Don't worry about us, just doing a show. How much do you have to educate the farmer?
Yeah.
Most of them are pretty educated, being that they do spray themselves. But yeah, for us, the big one with us, especially when Brad and I were running it, was herbicides on pastures, right? They'd be like, hey, can you come spray our pasture? And Brad'd be like, no way, I ain't killing off nobody's crops. That ain't happening.
Yep.
Call us, preferably at a different time of year, right?
Okay.
Maybe closer to desiccation time. Especially buckbrush is the thing. You want full leaves. That's what you want. And so then, if Brad and I were to go spray pastures, we'd prefer to do that closer to something like harvest.
So graze on or something like that.
Yeah.
We do it. We still do it if the pastures are covered by pastures. It's not so scary for drift. But what Ches is saying, we don't want to do it right beside a canola crop or something like that, right? So we're professionals. That's the thing, right? Everyone, the yellow airplane has got a bad name. I don't know why. It's I think 90% of the problem is people don't understand what we are. So they just see yellow airplane. They're out there killing us and killing everything, and it's scary, and they don't know. So they just come talk to us and figure out what it is, because people don't understand what we're doing. We're not out there to cause trouble. We're
not out there to scare your livestock either, by the way.
Yeah. We tend to let people know, especially with acreages, if we're going to be around them, we'll be like, hey, we're coming in, or whatever. So
just so you're aware,
just call us.
Yeah.
Just ask questions. I find the whole world's like that nowadays, just not understanding something. So if they don't understand it, then it's bad. Even from the jet airlines, you've heard that stuff, the contrail conspiracy.
Come on now.
I mean, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, I have a big switch in the 37 that I hit, and so it's just, I think it's a lot of people not understanding. And
how many employees do you have? Because I came out and like everybody's walking around in Bradley Airspray shirt.
Well, you can have one too if you want. I got one.
So. I see. So they're not all employees.
Yeah. No, I would say we have 3 pilots, including myself, and then we have 2.
You have 3 pilots.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
2 airplanes, and then I'll be the third, depending how busy it gets. I'll jump in and take the slack off because we have certain regulations we have to follow, right, with times. And then after that. We have 2 mixers that are there, and then we got so that's our, and Ches is our south of the Highway 16 sales rep. So anybody wants to get a hold of Ches, you can get a hold of her south of the highway. She's kind of taking care of that area for us. And then Courtney and myself and our number, right? So
780-205-7767.
That's one, yeah. And Ches, what's yours?
And then mine is 306-361-6160.
Okay. So tell us about today. Tell us about what you're doing here today.
I just want people to know we're here. Lloyd Airport's been awesome. They've rolled out the red carpet. Been crazy welcoming. I just want people to know that we're here. I want the neighbors to know that we're here. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
At 4 a.m. when the sun's coming up, you hear this loud airplane go flying over. It's us. We tell the guys to not fly over your houses. That's kind of a respect thing that we try to do. So we will dodge houses. But if we're not, there's a reason we're going over your house because we're probably doing the field there. There's another walker through her.
Just about.
So we should put a tape up here or something.
Well, we won't be here much longer.
No.
But I do want to talk about the 160 acres.
Yes.
So tell us about how you win.
Well,
that.
first of all, I want Ches. So Bright Aviation sponsored the PB Fair, so we did an application of insecticide for them. Ches sponsored that this year, so we put that on. So that was one of the sponsorships. And then with the 160 acres here is a draw. So for the folks that had won the meals in the field with you, their names are automatically entered into that. And then come and put your name in the draw. And at 2 o'clock with your lovely wife, we're going to draw the winner and see who gets a free application of 160 acres. You make fun of me all the time, but it's not the chem included because I don't know what they want to spray, right? So.
Oh yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah, where's Quick Dick? Now's my time to get back at Quick Dick with his smart comments, right? So, who watches that guy anyway? Really?
Well, he's not sold out yet at the Vic. So.
Yeah, well, who would go? So, no, go watch my buddy. He's awesome. Give him a hard time, but yeah. So we'll draw that and see who the lucky winner is. So.
Okay, we want to talk about the actual application and the chemical. In just a moment here.
Okay.
But Chesney, is there anything we're forgetting about contacting Bradley Air about the application? Because we're gonna bring Courtney in to talk about the actual herbicide.
No, we pretty much covered most of that.
Okay.
Again, phone us if you really don't know. Phone us. That's the best you can do. We are here to educate you. And we don't just want your money. Like, come on.
Yeah. The girls want a pre-map too. Like I was telling Heather before, if you're thinking about it and you're on the fence, give us a call because it gives us time to actually pre-map your fields so that if you do call and you're like, oh my God, we're ready to go, we don't have to waste. We can start shipping planes out. And
right. Hey, we got a nice clear date today.
Let's go, right? So it takes a bit of time for the gals to map stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing is just getting the mapping done. And then we send it back to you to be like, is this really your field?
Yeah.
And then we make sure it's all about being professional. We want to do a good job. And we're here. We're here to stay. And like Brad said, it's the local boys. So.
And obviously you believe in it.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a definite niche for it. I think the one farmer that blew me out of the water, I won't say his name, but he was very skeptical of this. And he used Brad and I last year. And with the bigger headers, bigger combines, with the X9s and such, the headers couldn't pick up through the wheel track. So you're so focused on a 50-foot header digging in one little corner trying to clean something up that you were thrashing the whole header. And he says, I was losing more in my header just trying to deal with the track straight cutting than versus what the wheel tracks would have done. And that was his biggest thing. And I'm like, I never even thought of that. And then, so like when you start combining on different angles, your combine's not filling the corners and you end up throwing stuff out. So you want to have your combine full. And that was the biggest thing that come from a farmer himself who uses us. And I was like, and he was very skeptical.
There's been lots of those. So we've been able to change a lot of farmers' perspective
change
on
their
it.
mind.
I think it's just because there hasn't been a full-time, there was a full-time operator here like years ago, but there hasn't been one that's here all the time. And I think that's the biggest thing that guys have just forgot to put it in their plan or their rotation, right? So
I don't know how you have time to do it.
my wife does all the work. I'm just sitting in the airplane, right? So no, it's busy, and the girls help us out, and it's a team. And
we did Feed the Farmer, and you'd be like, "Ah, man, something came up, can't make it."
yeah. Courtney would come, but no, the Feed the Farmer is the worst because you're feeding the farmers and I'm farming.
You're
right?
farming.
Can we do it in the winter? Can we do can we feed the casual farmer? Like
feed the snowmen.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be good. We got more time for beer afterwards and stuff, right? So,
well, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to learn more about fungicide.
You bet. And fungicide and fertilizer.
And fertilizer. Oh, fertilizer application too.
Yes, we do that as well. Did I cover that?
No,
we do fertilizer
did we
application.
cover that?
Yeah.
No,
we don't think
definitely
so.
left that one
We
off.
well, we'll talk about that when we come back here at Bradley Airspray's grand opening here at the airport till 2:00 this afternoon.
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
At Jason Arden Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Arden Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
It's more than just taxes at LNA CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at LNA CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. LNA CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
Are you looking for a vibrant lifestyle without the hassle of home maintenance? Welcome to Wellings of Lloydminster, where active living meets comfort for adults 55 plus. Enjoy maintenance-free living in your own one-story, spacious villa and spend more time doing what you love. The community of Wellings offers modern amenities and the freedom to live life on your terms. Visit Wellings of Lloydminster at 3211 72nd Avenue on the Alberta side and online at wellingsoflloydminster.com. Well, we moved out of our regular studio at the new Lloydminster Nissan today, and we are on the road here at the Lloydminster Airport. We're at lot number C, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
But you just want to follow. You just want to follow the signs. They've got clear marked signs. If I could find it easily, you can find it real super easy. You guys did a great job of marking out where you were today. Burgers till 2:00 today.
Yeah, that's the plan anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know you said RSVP, but anybody can come out.
Yes, come on out. You know, we might, if we run out of food, I apologize. Like, that's sorry. It's really tough to gauge with something like this.
Well, it makes sense with what Quick Tick told us. So,
Oh God, that guy.
And what he did tell us was about the 160 acres, and it doesn't include the chemical. And he
I didn't
said,
know what they wanted to spray.
and he said, "Why is that guy being so cheap?" And I believe he meant.
That guy hasn't bought a beer in his life ever. Trust me.
Hey, if you can get to that point, good on you.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's mainly me. I don't think regular people buy him beer. He just hoses me all the time. He just leaves me with the bill, right? So don't even ask me what that commercial cost me.
Everybody can find a sucker at some point.
It ends today. It ends today.
But when he's talking about chemical, do you have a certain chemical that you have to use? Can the farmer supply the chemical?
No, it's whatever they want to put on. I mean, within reason. Like, I'm not going to go spray Roundup beside someone's.
As long as it's registered for aerial application.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has to be registered.
Yeah. There's a list. There's a wide variety of products that are registered for aerial application, and most of the farmers know that. But yeah, they bring their own chemical to us.
So that's the other thing that we were talking earlier with Ches about the yellow airplane syndrome. You know, people are worried. Like, we're not just throwing random stuff in here. This is certified from the Government of Canada and the provincial government and Transport Canada. Like, this is registered, being that it's deemed safe to do via aerial application. So it's
no different than anything that they're putting in there in regular wheel sprayers. It's no different than that kind of application. We're not out there spraying some unknown chemical. It's definitely been through the ringer and been even more rigorous to be able to be registered for aerial application than it would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the yellow plane. Are they always yellow? Do they have to be yellow? Are they regulated yellow?
They're not regulated. Like, there's one sitting across the way there right now. There's a red and white one there. That's a farmer that owns that one.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be, but I would say 80-90% of them are. It's like a triangle sign on the back of a tractor.
Okay.
It's like, this is agriculture. People know what it is. And it's just, again, like, people should know, like, the plane's flying low and it's yellow, like, it's not losing control, or it's not crashing or something like that. So some of the planes have different colors, but I would say most of them ours are yellow.
So you mentioned that farmers can supply the chemical or the fertilizer, but you supply it as well. If they need, you supply it, or how's that work?
No. So I mean, if it's the fertilizer, we supply it. If it's chemical, then they supply it. They bring it to us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Courtney does the fertilizer side of it. That's what she's a sales rep for us.
Okay, I thought you sold both. I thought, like, oh, you tell us, you know, we have it, you know, this is what we use, but if you want to use this, you can use this.
No. The farmers are pretty much free to do what they want, unless they want fertilizer, which Court can speak more to that.
Yeah, we can. I mean, as far as them bringing the chemical, they will have already decided what they are wanting to spray, and then they will bring their chemical to us. But if they're interested in doing the foliar fertilizer side of things, then we supply that here.
Okay.
Because we're dealers for AgTech 360.
Okay, tell us about that product.
Well, there's a whole lineup of products that AgTech 360 offers, but specifically as far as the airplane, we've got a slow-release nitrogen product that's good for yield boosts or to help meet nutrient requirements, also to boost plant health. We've got an Aero Blitz product, which is also slow-release nitrogen that is also micronutrients and amino acids in it as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so these guys didn't even mention the fertilizer, Courtney.
Oh.
When we originally came on.
Because you told me you were going to bring Courtney on for the fertilizer. It was part of the program.
So do you find you're the forgotten person in this, or
No,
what?
I'm good.
God, here we go again.
I'd be fine being the forgotten person, too, if I didn't have to come on here, but you guys made me.
Well, see, you wouldn't got fertilizer talk here. So.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that we get to talk about it. There's not really much more to say other than if we wanted to get into the technical side of it a little bit. The nice part about our foliar fertilizers is they are slow-release nitrogen. So once sprayed, they are sticking to your leaf and they are feeding your plant for up to 30 days. They're also compatible with other products. They mix well and play well with other tank mixes. Not limited to the airplane, but also compatible with the airplane.
So would all those reasons that you talked about, Garth, earlier on fungicide also transport over to fertilizer? Crops are tough to get in. It's wet.
Totally. I like, for me personally, from a farmer, I like the top-up boost for proteins, things like that. I like it works. It's something that the Americans are way ahead of us on. The Americans farm differently than we do.
How is that possible when we're the ones supplying them with their fertilizer?
Well, I think that's why. I think they got smarter with it. But the Americans farm, they don't put all their eggs in one basket. They put a little bit of eggs, then they wait for the weather. Weather looks good, a little bit more fertilizer, a little bit more fertilizer, so forth.
So you're essentially spoon feeding your crop. And I think now more than ever, farmers are more open to that. Nobody did it before. So typically how they're doing it is they are pouring all their nutrients down in furrow at the beginning of the season, and then whether that be liquid or that be dry fertilizer, that has its restraints from a soil health aspect too, but just standalone as far as we're talking about financial stuff, it allows you to stage your costs. So then you're reducing what you're putting down in the beginning of the season, and then you can wait for rain. It gives you more flexibility. So then if you don't get rain, you don't have to spray fertilizer. If you think, okay, this is enough, but you do have that option. So then you're not totally breaking the bank at the beginning of the season, if that makes sense.
So when do you start? And what's the season like?
Well, about now. I would say we can do some stuff earlier. We guys have done pasture fertilizing as well, so we can do the aerial application on pasture fertilizer, which is really great because most grain farmers don't want to take their nice little sprayer and me included and bang across pasture land with gopher holes and everything. Where with an airplane, we hardly hit a gopher hole.
Yeah.
I hope we're not hitting gopher holes, but anyway.
How much would this plane be used for both?
For what do you mean?
Like for fungicide and fertilizer?
Oh yeah, we use it for everything.
Do you have to spray it out? Like what's
with fungicide and fertilizer? Not such a risk of with rinsing, but between herbicides, yes, we have a rinsing practice we use for it.
Okay.
But between fertilizer and fungicide, no, it's just
because they're not gonna
hurt each other.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Fungicide is not going to hurt people. It's fungicide is for fungus. So unless you're fungus, you're in big trouble.
So if you're doing something in Maidstone, and so you would land in Maidstone at the airport there?
Depends on how many.
Depends
on how. Yeah, exactly. We have a mobile trailer with water and everything ready to go. Chem handler, everything ready to go. And was
that just sitting out here when I came?
Yeah. You almost hit it. You came a little fast there. But,
that's a Nissan for you. Flying around.
Oh, that's a nice plug.
Nice
I
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would run out of there if a guy had enough acres. If a guy had a load, we'd probably take it out of here. You know, it costs a little bit more because, like I was talking earlier with when Ches was on here, we kind of just 25 nautical miles is what we use. It just makes it more cost effective depending on where we're going. But if there's one load, we would just rip over and probably do it. It saves moving the whole fleet over there kind of thing.
But if we had more acres over in Maidstone, say, we would definitely take our mobile unit and just set up there and get it all done.
What's your biggest obstacle?
Our biggest obstacle? Knowledge.
Awareness.
Awareness. Just be like, give us a shot. People... Yeah, we're here. We're here. People are scared, I think, of aerial application because guys have come in here, including myself. It used to tick me off. Someone would say, I got an airplane coming. And you're like, oh, perfect. I'm going to take my spray there. And then the guy would be from a different city, and they'd be like, I got to go look after my own customers. And they bugger off. And then you're standing at the airport with your bag of chemical going, well, what the heck, right?
That actually happens?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because so much of it is timing, right? And so they might be able to squeeze you in their rate, in a timing window, but once that timing window is up and their guys are ready to go, they're going to stay with their regular customers, right? Because they know they want to keep those guys happy. So I think, and there's a big hole here in the county of Vermilion River and then Britannia. We don't have anybody to cover with these airplanes.
Well, it goes back to what Bradley had said is let's keep it to our customers.
Well, that's what it is.
Absolutely.
And that's what Brad always said. Let's, and that was our biggest thing, when we started. It was just looking after we're here. I'm not going to bugger off to Drumheller or something and leave our customers, right? So,
well, how do you line it up? Because you don't know when you can go.
It's tough. That's what these girls do. And that's why we're saying if you're even remotely thinking about doing it, call us. We're not going to charge you. There's not a booking fee. We just want to get a plan in place so that when the time is to pull the trigger and you show up with your chemical and go, and then we're like, well, you're like number 13th in line. Then you're going to be upset at us. Where if you get it in now, we have a plan. Court and the girls map it out strategically so that these airplanes are running at the most optimum
We have a program
Speed.
that's all set up, so it costs nothing for us to map your fields. There's no cost to you and no commitment. You don't have to do it, but it just allows that flexibility. So typically in fungicide, you got like 7 to 10 days, really. So we got to get, depending on where you're at, right? But
So you kind of want to get in the queue too?
absolutely, yeah. So if we have your
It's like the
fields
bathroom
mapped,
lineup at the fair, buddy. Just got to get in the line. So,
if
I
you
don't go
have
as often as you do.
ooh, touche.
oh my gosh.
And I'm not a farmer. I
Yeah.
can run home.
Yeah, yeah. Big fancy broadcasting house in town, right? So
No, I go to the dealership. Go to Nissan.
Yeah.
Somebody else clean the bathroom.
Oh,
okay, we were way off track.
Oh, we are
here.
way off track.
focus.
Back to fertilizer.
Back to fertilizer. We were talking about getting the queue.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's no commitment, no cost, and it just allows us to, like, if you do decide to, the fungicide or any application is something that you want to do, if we have your fields mapped already, it's a lot faster. So I can just put you in the queue and click on your fields and away you go, and we'll get you in there, kind of thing. Whereas it takes time to map the fields and to make sure that we have everything identified in the fields, which is part of our safety protocol, making sure that we have power lines and towers, things identified in the
Sensitive
fields.
areas too, like
Right.
there's bees and stuff and things we want to look after. right?
Absolutely. So, and we want to make sure that we're aware of what crops are around us and all sorts of things. So, and that's a lot for our pilot safety as well. So, the faster we get those fields mapped, the easier we can be flexible in the timing of all the applications.
So hopefully people have learned a little bit through this. You're here till 2:00 today to answer any questions people.
Yeah,
can
like
come out,
Absolutely.
see the plane.
It's the people. I think the rural folks know a little bit about us. City folks, I seem to see a bit of a gray area. And if you're just curious, come say hi to Garth, Courtney, or Ches, or whoever's out here. Our pilots are here today. You can take a look at the cockpit. See the. When you look in there, you'll be quite surprised at the technology that we are using. It's not. It's very professional. It's very GPS. We're all about safety, doing the job correctly. We're professional. So.
Somebody said to me, this is really going to help the Lloydminster Airport out as well. Why?
I hope so.
Like,
I'm not sure how it all works with the government, but I know there is some extra funding for movements, depending on what movements they are.
Your funding depends on the movements.
Yeah, so
Right.
we're gonna be moving around here. It's based on takeoff and landings. We're purchasing fuel from the airport as well, so we're helping that too with the city and.
Who has been absolutely great to us. The city has been great to us.
Yeah. Yeah, Mayor Albers and the gang and Wade here and stuff have been awesome. And I think they're actually going to stop by today a little bit later. I think they have a minister with them or something today. So, yeah. But,
Awesome.
yeah. So,
well, we won't keep you much longer because I know
Yeah.
there's people waiting to talk to you and find out more about the plane. We've found out a little bit, but of course it's just a tip of the iceberg on what you guys actually do. But the easiest thing, if you have questions, is just call.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just call Bradley Airspray, and like you said, get on the radar.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just
Get
put
in the
it on
queue.
the-
Yeah.
just put it
Farmers
on the
are bad.
radar.
I'm just as bad, too. We all sit around and procrastinate because we're like, I don't know. It depends on the weather.
Well, it does. And so much depends on the
It
weather.
does. And this weekend looks great. God willing. I hope the rain comes, but
Yep.
the radio station keeps telling me it's going to rain, that girl on the radio. So
I wouldn't believe her.
yeah.
She tells me a lot of things too that never happen.
Yeah. And we're going to commercial.
We'll be back with you tomorrow, and we'll be back at the new Lloydminster Nissan. We're going to find out about Indigenous Peoples Day. There's also a huge announcement that's coming up with Synergy Credit Union about their merger, and there are some premiers in town today. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow as well, and what comes out of that. But we hope you join us tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, back at the new Lloydminster Nissan. And once again, you can join Bradley Airspray here today until 2 this afternoon.